Hi, I'm Suse and welcome to EduBofs, where you'll find tips for teachers and help for students. We would love it if you would subscribe, click that button down below and give us a thumbs up and share with all of your friends. You can find us on Facebook, Instagram and Twitter. Just look up the handle at EduBofs or at EduBofs, and the links for all of the socials are down below. Shells are still not here. We're still on winter break special. So I have something fun for you today. Today we're going to be looking at how I'm planning for semester 2, term 3 with my trusty new little planner. I have had many different kinds of planners over my time as a teacher. Some of them have been fantastic, some of them have been awful, some of them have been so-so. And I was doing some research on YouTube looking at some of the other teacher journals that are out there, and one of the things that really caught my eye was the teacher bullet journal. So if you don't know what bullet journaling is, I recommend that you go and watch the video by the bullet journal founder, inventor, whatever he is, Ryder Carroll. I will put the link in the description below, just so you get an idea of what a bullet journal is. Now, a lot of people have taken the idea of a bullet journal and just run wild with it. You can be as creative with a bullet journal as you want, or as minimalistic with a bullet journal as you want, depending on the purpose that you have for it. So for myself personally, I have a personal bullet journal that I'm far more creative with. But then my school one that I'm planning on doing this term is a lot more minimalistic and a lot more purposeful, and doesn't necessarily also use all of the key and the symbols that a regular bullet journal would have. So I'd say it's probably a cross between a planner and a bullet journal, and I might end up using some of those key things in there as well later when it comes to notes that I take. So let's dive right on in. This is the notebook that I have chosen to use for my teacher planner this year. A plain B5 hardcover notebook that I got from the local grocery store at Woolies, and it just has plain lines inside, cream pages, but nothing too fancy, nice and simple, because the simpler we have it, the easier it's going to be for us for planning. So let's have a look. So the first few pages I've actually set aside for my index. I have made a couple of mistakes in this already, but I suppose that means it already looks lived in. So my index just tells me exactly what I've got on each page in terms of things that I've already set out. And I've left a couple of pages for that. The second thing that we have in here is a semester calendar. So I've actually got mine set up in term 3 and term 4, and I've gone through my school calendar and I've already gone and plugged in here all the important dates on the school calendar, all pertaining to school. So I don't have anything personal in this particular planner because I have another planner that I use, my own personal bullet journal, and my own personal bullet journal actually has my more personal dates in it. If you want to see a flip through of this one, my personal planner, then leave a comment down below and I will see about getting that done. So as you can see, I've got term 3 set up and I've got term 4 set up. All the dates that are in grey are school holidays or student free days or public holidays. All the dates in pink I have set up, they were already on the school calendar that the whole school has, and any extra things that I set up, that I add to it, I'm going to pop in down here. As you can see, you need to be careful when you choose which journal you're going to use, because I've had a bit of bleed through on here, which is a little bit frustrating, and since I noticed this, I've actually been taping my pages together so I don't have that bleed through showing. My next spread that I've got here is my teacher dashboard. Now, this is not something that I've come up with on my own. I actually got this idea from a lady on YouTube. Her channel is Alexandra Plans. And this is her idea, and it's just nice and simple. So I've got my 8 things that I generally look at. So things to do, students I need to see or have student-teacher conferences with, what marking I have to do, are there any supplies I need? Do I need to buy more prizes? Do I need to buy more stickers? Whatever. Do I need to email any parents or any teachers? Is there any photocopying I need done? Do I have any meetings planned that I need to go to? And anything else that I need to remember goes here. Now the beauty of this is it's perpetual, and you can literally, as you finish things off, you can take it off, throw it out, and stick a new one in. So all very user-friendly, this one. So that's the teacher dashboard. This spread here is also another one that I have borrowed from Alexandra Plans. Again, her one looks a little bit different. She doesn't have the periods set out like I have, and she doesn't have, it's not set out like a normal timetable for her. So I've set mine out in a normal timetable. We have 7 periods in the day, including PC, which I don't do PC. I've also set aside any time that I'm part-time, because I am part-time this year, and any spares that I have. And then this is a perpetual week planner. So what this does is that you can just write the general gist of what your lesson is in each of these, or your learning goal for the lesson, or what classwork you want them to do, and you can pop it in here. As you finish that lesson, you can then peel it off and put a new one in. The reason I do this is that I don't actually do any of my planning, my full lesson planning, unit planning as such. In this bullet journal, I actually have my daily and my week-to-week plans for all of my subjects on Google Drive. This is just a quick day-to-day thing that I can take with me, and I can have the learning goals written on there. And of course, each sticky note color represents one of my classes. So green for 7 maths, blue for 9 maths, dark pink or purple for 7 science, and a nice bright pink for 8 history geography. And of course, I've got a little orange one here for my 1 year 11 prep class that I have. So this is a perpetual weekly spread. Change it out as you go. It just saves a bit of space and a bit of time just having it in one space. Next thing I've got here is a space to glue in my term timetable. Obviously, as term 3 finishes, I will pull out the term 3 timetable, and I will put in the new term 4 timetable, because it does change with sport. So that just gives me space to tape it in there. I might use a bit of washi tape just so it's easy to pull out later. As you can see, I have actually glued these pages together so that I don't get the bleed through that I was getting before. This little Dutch door that I've got going on here, all I did was I folded over that page and taped it, used double-sided tape to tape it closed, because I didn't feel like I needed an entire B5 page for my personal absences and my PD log. We have to log all our PD in Queensland on the QCT website, but this just helps me. I don't have to log it every time I do it. I don't have to log in. I can just write it down, and at the end of a couple of months or end of the term, I can go in and just write down what my PD hours were and what they were for. And then of course my personal absences, if I'm away for a day, if I'm on a PD, if I'm sick, if I have an appointment, whatever, at least then I know exactly what date and why I wasn't at school, in case there's any queries from admin or staff or parents. This one here is our phone numbers and extensions. So I've only really got the main phone numbers up in here and our security phone number, and then the rest of these are all just extension numbers. Very useful to have, because we don't actually have these lists up in the classroom, and trying to find them all the time on our LMS is a bit of a pain. So having them with me all the time is a really good idea. Here I've just got Bloom's taxonomy, so remembering, understanding, applying, analysing, evaluating and creating. So working from the bottom of the pyramid all the way up to the top. This was again another idea that I got from Alexandra Plans, except she had the pyramid drawn out, but I didn't feel like I needed that. This is really good for when I'm planning out my learning goals. I can just go in and see, well, what cognitive verb do I want my students to be able to do by the end of this lesson, and I can include these words in my learning goals, and each star represents that that particular cognitive verb is in one of the other lists as well. So you'll see that some of the lists in evaluating are also in understanding. So they can be used across the board here. My next one here, and I'm just going to cover up the names here. I didn't think of that before. This is my student checklist. So I don't need to do my role physically at all. We do all of that online. It's never been a problem. If we do have a problem with it, we just get a paper roll, so I don't bother with that. So this has just got their names down the side, and I have color-coded these to match up with my classes, so purple being 7 Science. What the assessment is, whether the student is NCCD or not, and then I can just go and pop in all their grades. Now, we go and put all their grades in online as well, but for different subjects and different departments, we have different places that we need to put them. So I Dutch-doored this one again as well, so that I don't have to write the names out. So this should last me for the whole semester, if not a whole year if I really needed it to. And I've gone ahead and I've also put in a space for all my NCCD notes, because every single one of my classes has a student who is on the NCCD roster. And it's really important to be able to look at what notes I have for them and to be able to modify my lessons for those students. And of course, space for any other notes that I need to write down about my class for each one. So I've gone ahead and done the same for all my classes. Again, color coded, green for 7 Maths, pink for History Geography, and blue for my Year 9 Maths. All with that Dutch door, so that I don't have to write the names out again and again. This here is the last bit that I actually will put into my planner before going to school. I am only also going up to term 3. I'm not going up to term 4 just yet. I'll probably do term 4 closer to the time. But what I've done here is, this is just a quick plan, so what each lesson is going to be each week. So anywhere that you see a dark grey, I've greyed out either because it's a student free day or because I'm part-time. So I'm not in, well, I'm in, but I'm not teaching in those times. Light grey are my spares, which will often get taken up by supervisions. And then of course I've color-coded the same as I did for everything else. So wherever you see a little green square, that means that that is 7 Maths, blue is 9 Maths, purple is 7 Science, pink is History Geography, and Year 11 Prep is orange. So each little box here represents a period in the day. So I've got my days running across this way, Monday through Friday, and my weeks, week 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, all the way till the end of term 3. So what I will do is, for each lesson I will write down the main topic of what I'm supposed to be doing. If I have any resources for it, I will put a little diagonal across there that I've done those resources. And as the lesson is finished, I will actually put a full cross in to say, yep, we did that lesson. So this again is not something that I've come up with myself. I got this from another lady on YouTube, Jashi Karin. So Jashi Karin is another YouTuber that is a teacher and a bullet journaler, and this is one of the spreads that she's come up with in her bullet journal, and I decided that I really liked it, so I borrowed the idea. So I will link her, and I will link Jashi Karin and Alexandra plans down below so you can have a look as well. You know, credit where credit is due. But that's how this term 3 plan works. I'm really hoping that it's going to work out. So it would be an overall overview for the term. I obviously won't fill it in too much in advance because things change. Who knows? You know that it's never going to, not everything goes to plan all the time. So I won't fill it in more than maybe 2 weeks at a time. And like I said, it goes all the way to week 10, and then I've got a space for any notes. What do I need to change? What did I not get to? What do I need to make sure I cover, etc. And that is all that I have actually got in this one, but I've got plenty of space in here to do my term 4 plan and any notes for meetings, any notes from parent-teacher conferences, which we'll be having pretty much as soon as we get back to school. All those notes will end up in here. I reckon you could probably get a whole year out of one of these particular notebooks. I only started for this semester with this one, as I had a different system that I was using and it wasn't working for me. But I reckon you could get a whole year out of one of these notebooks. Like I said, it was only, I reckon, no more than $5 from Woolworths to buy one of these. They had them in multiple colours. I would recommend nothing smaller than a B5. B5 is a nice small size to carry around with you. It's not too fat, you know, and it looks really nice. You could go an A4 size. I found A4 was a bit cumbersome for me. I would not recommend going an A5 just because you're not going to fit everything in there. Your sticky notes are not going to be the right size for this. You're going to end up cutting your sticky notes, going to end up being a waste of time, and you're not going to get anything done. You're going to end up giving up with it. So if you want an A5, I reckon do your own personal in an A5, but for your school planner, B5. I would really appreciate any comments below if you have any suggestions or ideas for my planner, or if you're wanting to give it a go yourself. If you are going to give it a go, love to see pictures of it. You can share your pictures of your planning on Instagram and just tag at EduBofs, and we will have a look, and we would love to see what you do with your planning, because everyone plans differently. Now, I do actually have a freebie for you today. So if you go down into the description box and you click on the link under the Teachers Pay Teachers link, you will find 2 free downloads. Both of them are printables for your planner / bullet journal. One of them is in A4 size if you prefer the bigger size, and one of them is in A5 size. And each one of those printables features pretty much everything that I've done in here. And you know, hand write out every single thing that's in here. That's just something that I do. I find it really cathartic. Most people would cringe at the thought of doing that, and that's why I have put those printables in there for you, so you can also have a go at this if you want to. So again, I ask you, please click that subscribe button and give us a thumbs up and share with all of your friends, because we love our subscribers, and that is why we give away free stuff. We love you guys, and we really hope that this has been super useful for you. We'll see you in our next video. Bye.